Not every sign of intelligence or lack of it appears in tests, school grades, or diplomas. Psychology shows that many traits of low IQ reveal themselves in the simplest, everyday habits, often repeated automatically. The problem is that almost no one notices these patterns in themselves because they seem normal, common, or even socially acceptable. But when observed closely, they reveal a lot about how a person thinks, reacts, and interprets the world. One of the clearest habits is the difficulty in listening to different opinions without reacting emotionally. People with a low cognitive repertoire tend to interpret any disagreement as a personal attack. They interrupt, raise their voice, or disqualify the other person, not to defend ideas, but to protect their own ego. Psychology explains that this happens because of low mental flexibility. When someone cannot consider other points of view, they become trapped in a limited perception of reality. Another frequent habit is the constant need to simplify everything into extremes. Right or wrong, good or bad, enemy or ally. This binary thinking reduces the complexity of the world and avoids the mental effort required for deeper reflection. People like this often fall easily for shallow arguments, unfounded theories, and dangerous generalizations because critical thinking demands cognitive energy and a willingness to question one's own beliefs. Difficulty taking responsibility is also an important sign. Instead of analyzing mistakes and learning from them, people with low IQ tend to always blame external factors: the boss, the system, the family, or luck. This does not happen by chance, but due to a limitation in self-evaluation capacity. Psychology calls this low metacognition, that is, a limited ability to reflect on one's own behavior. Another revealing habit is talking too much and listening too little. This is not about shyness or extroversion, but about an inability to recognize the value of silence and observation. People with lower cognitive capacity often dominate conversations, repeat stories, interrupt others, and ignore social cues. They confuse the quantity of speech with intelligence, when in reality, understanding others requires attention, empathy, and mental processing. There is also the habit of reacting impulsively to emotional stimuli, especially on social media, sharing information without verifying it, commenting out of anger, or engaging in pointless arguments are behaviors associated with low emotional self-regulation. Psychology shows that intelligence is not only logical reasoning, but also emotional control and the ability to pause before acting. Another important point is resistance to learning. People with lower IQ tend to avoid new content, reject reading, dismiss studies, and mock those who seek knowledge. This functions as a defense mechanism. By devaluing learning, they protect their own intellectual insecurity and avoid the discomfort of recognizing personal limitations. Constant irony, aggressive sarcasm, and demeaning others are not signs of intelligence, but of cognitive and emotional fragility. Those who truly think deeply do not need to constantly prove their worth. Recognizing these habits is not about judging or labeling people, but about understanding how behavior reflects mental functioning. Intelligence can be developed, but this requires awareness, openness, and a willingness to change patterns. The first step is not pointing outward, but observing yourself. After all, the more aware you are of your own habits, the greater your chances of intellectual and emotional growth.